I didn't win. I didn't win. Hello everybody, I'm Roxy and this is Regmi BS. So first of all, I didn't know that you could win on the Booktubeathon, in the sense that like you could tweet like I won and you would be featured. Last year I did complete everything, so I'm kind of bummed that I didn't participate in that because I didn't know it could be done. This year actually I didn't win, and I had a kind of different experience than last year, because last year I felt like I was so committed. Even though like I didn't record the best quality challenges, I still participated and I still like did the sprint things, and I don't know, we'll get to that. Let me talk to you about the 4 books that I did read during the Booktubeathon, including the book-to-movie adaptation. Let's start with the coin toss, which determined that I was going to read On Writing by Stephen King. This was also the challenge for something you want to do, and book with green on the cover. This is half memoir, half writing advice for young aspiring authors. I really adored this book, and like some people who criticized it said it wasn't really like a writing manual because he's not really for writing workshops and any of that, and I agree. It's just that he's so engaging, you know, and I don't feel like you need to want to be an author or be seeking for advice to like enrich yourself with what Stephen King has to tell you. He learns a lot from his experiences and he sees the big picture, which is kind of hard to get. He has perspective, I think, that lots of people don't have in their memoirs. The advice section, a lot of people said it was kind of basic. It is for people who are aspiring to be authors, but also I just think it's like good common sense. There are lots of these things that are bypassed, that I see being bypassed. I was in it. I think it's a weird hybrid of a book that it shouldn't work, but it did, and I think it's fascinating. And so if you like Stephen King, if you like memoirs, if you like books on writing, I think all of those things are met in an interesting, engaging way. Then I also did the hat thing, which was kind of fun. I actually wore the hat much more than I expected. It was really darn cold to the place I went, and so I was like hat, and over the hat I had like a hoodie. I didn't get to the yellow wallpaper, so I read Art by Yasmina Reza instead. I've talked about this book several times on this channel. This is a play about 3 friends who have been friends for a long time, and one of them buys a painting, and the painting is just white with some slightly not white lines, and one of the friends laughs at him and the other kind of plays to both and tries to act all conciliatory. But basically, because of this painting, all the foundations of their friendship come crashing down in a way that is hilarious, that is awesome, that is just so uniquely Yasmina Reza that I just think you should really read this play. For the book-to-movie adaptation challenge, I read and watched The Children of Men by P.D. James, and Alfonso Cuarón did the movie. I enjoyed both, but I loved neither. The book is not particularly well written. I've never read any P.D. James, and I don't think I'll ever will, although I might go back to the book, because the discussion around the issues presented is very interesting. And so this book is about a society that has ceased to be fertile. So basically nobody in the whole world can have children. And it sort of goes into the society and the effects it has had in the world, and more particularly in England. So we start the narrative with Theo, who is the cousin of Sam or Shan, I don't know how that's pronounced, and he's like the warden of England and basically the prime minister, and even more powerful than the king. And it's just a really interesting society James presents here. The second part though is concerned with running and chasing, and it's kind of meh, and the resolution it's also very meh, although I did like the ending. And then the movie is really different. It takes the core idea of the society and then one of the plot points that I can't really reveal from James' books, that it's in the second part, and runs with it. And it's a really good movie. It's beautiful to watch. It's more of a refugee story and a story of the rebellion, and it's completely different from the book, and I wouldn't mind that, but I think it took the worst part of the book and it improved upon it, but it left all the things that I actually would like to see and the reasons that I would like to go back to the book. So it doesn't have Sam. I mean, it has him, but not really. It doesn't have the same Theo, which, you know, Theo is such a problematic character, and it's gone. And it's just everything that I thought was interesting about the book was gone, and what was left was a really improved upon version of something not as interesting. And so the movie was beautifully shot, but I ultimately thought it was kind of dull in theme. Then finally I read a book that fulfilled none of the challenges, but that I enjoyed tremendously, and it's Cork Dork by Bianca Bosker. This is about a journalist that finds herself fascinated with the fascination some people have for wine, and so she decides to become a sommelier, even though starting the book she knows basically nothing about wine. And it's just an amazing read. So a lot of people don't like it because they say like she's not a true Cork Dork. This is non-fiction, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, because she at the beginning doesn't feel that fascination with wine, it's the fascination with the people. But I think that's great. I think it's good to have an outside perspective. Me personally, I like wine. I want to learn more about wine, but I'm nowhere near Cork Dork territory, not even like the same atmosphere, so it was fine by me. Also, and this is a very valid criticism, that there's a level of privilege here that she's not really addressing. It is touched upon that it is okay if you go to like a restaurant in New York with only $80 to spend on a bottle of wine, but that's okay, you don't need to be rich or anything. $80 for a bottle of wine is still money. I mean, again, like, it might be money you're willing to pay, but it's still a lot. Also, like, there's again one part where she goes to another state and she realizes that life is not New York, and I think that's great. The world she accesses, of course, is a world of privilege. That said, I think this book is brilliant. I think the writing is so exciting, but also gives you information. I learned a lot with this book, and it does so in that way that's so seamless and so nice, and I just really enjoyed it. I wish every nonfiction book that I read was this engaging, this entertaining, and this just passionate about what's talking. Really enjoyed it. Another 5-star read, and definitely one of the best books I've read so far. So Booktubeathon wise, I didn't win, but I read 2 of the books I've loved most this year. I also reread a book I loved a lot a couple of years ago and that I wanted to read, and so it was a really good Booktubeathon. That said, I don't know if I'm going to participate next year. I do enjoy the challenges, but while I tried to do some sprints, I thought they were kind of distracting. I just wanted to read. Also, there was the thing with like the Instagram challenges. I never do them because I'm not good at photography. I mean, clearly some of the videos I've shot are not the best. Some of the winners I thought were like, I saw much better pictures there and much more beautiful pictures there, and I don't know, I was kind of well, some of the winners were of course amazing, and the pictures were so fun. Yeah, and then also okay, so I know everyone can read whatever they want, but I want to give my answers to the Twitter sprint, and everyone was reading the same books, and most of them were kind of, let's just say, not the books I like or books that I wouldn't read ever. I don't know, I just kind of felt very disconnected and very like, this is not my thing, which again is not the Booktubeathon's fault. I think Ariel does a terrific job and I commend her for her initiative, and I know she loves Booktube a lot, but yeah, I just didn't have fun because of where I was at emotionally, I guess. I had a lot on my mind and I just sort of wanted to read. Then I kept thinking like, why then I'm participating on the Booktubeathon if, you know, I'm not really interested in participating. There's a whole year before I need to make this decision again, but this year I didn't have much fun as I did last year, and so it will severely depend on my mood whether I participate next year. And again, this is not a shot against Booktubeathon. I think it's a great event, but probably not my cup of tea anymore. And notice that I said probably. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and comment. Did you participate in the Booktubeathon? Did you win? And so that's it. See you next time.